So you're probably looking at that box thinking, hey, that looks exactly like the Rode VideoMicro. And you know what? It does look exactly like the Rode VideoMicro. Hey, I'm Brian Miller, magician and motivational speaker. If you're a regular subscriber, thanks so much for sticking with me. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you are new here, you probably don't know that I have an audio background. I came from audio to video, and because of that, I have a really special relationship with audio, and that's why I'm always banging on about getting the best audio quality for your YouTube videos. You don't need to spend $1 million to get terrific audio quality anymore. Just like video and photos, you can spend a fraction of what you used to get a really, really top-notch quality. Now, you might have seen my previous microphone shootout between the Rode VideoMicro and the Sennheiser MKE400. The biggest difference there is that the Rode VideoMicro is a $60 microphone, but the Sennheiser MKE400 is a $200 microphone. And a lot of you were surprised. I was surprised when we found out that the VideoMicro outperformed the Sennheiser 3 times its price. And this has actually become kind of a theme. If you go around YouTube and watch videos about this microphone, the Rode VideoMicro, you'll find that it outperforms almost everything much, much more expensive than it, even the more expensive higher end versions of the Rode VideoMic lines, like the Rode VideoMic Pro and the new Pro Plus. Yeah, the more expensive ones have a lot more features, but there's something about this microphone that just works so well for YouTubers and vloggers in particular. Now, before we get into the price difference, the specs, the stuff that comes with the accessories, before any of that, let's do a blind audio test shootout. In a minute, you're going to hear me say the exact same phrase 2 times in a row. The first one will be A, the second one will be B. I'm not gonna tell you which microphone it was recorded with. I'm gonna use the Rode VideoMicro for one of them, the Movo for another. Both of them will be plugged into this camera, the Canon M3, which is my main vlogging rig. I'm about 8 inches, maybe 10 inches away from the microphone. Both of them will have the audio set to manual, and I'll be making sure that the audio is peaking somewhere between -9 and -12. I'm not gonna change the audio settings at all between the 2 recordings. But when I get into post, I'm going to take the audio from both of them, and I'm going to make sure that they're sitting at the exact same level, the same output level, so that you don't hear a difference in volume between the 2 microphones, because one of these 2 microphones is louder than the other one. And if you know that going in, maybe you've already looked up the specs and you know that one of these 2 is louder, if you hear the louder one, you'll know which one it was, and that'll ruin the whole idea of the test. So they're both going to be at the same output level, so you can listen to the same phrase 2 times back to back. Before we do the test, make sure you put on your headphones or at least some earbuds whenever you're doing an audio test, whenever you are evaluating audio, unless you're sitting in a recording studio that's been acoustically treated with high-end neutralized studio monitors. You definitely want to listen on your headphones or your earbuds, so put those on right now. And now we're going to begin the test. This is a test of 2 different microphones for the purpose of audio on YouTube. Which one do you think sounds better? This is a test of 2 different microphones for the purpose of audio on YouTube. Which one do you think sounds better? Okay, I just had to listen for the first time just like you did. Before that test, I had not heard what this new microphone sounded like at all. Which one did you like better? Take a second to think about it, figure out which one you liked better, go back and listen to them again if you want to. I'm gonna let you know which one was which in 3, 2, 1. Pause the video if you don't wanna know. A was the Rode VideoMicro, and B was the new Movo. This is a test of 2 different microphones for the purpose of audio on YouTube. Which one do you think sounds better? This is a test of 2 different microphones for the purpose of audio on YouTube. Which one do you think sounds better? Now, having just listened to them, I gotta tell you, they sound almost identical. Was that your experience too? I thought they sounded almost exactly the same. So the question is then, why would you buy one over the other? What are the differences? What does it come with? So let's talk about that right now. Well, many of you are already familiar with the Rode VideoMicro. That's what's sitting on here. I've done a lot of videos on that. If you're a YouTuber, if you've been looking up stuff about vlogging or cameras for YouTube, you've probably encountered this microphone before, or you already own it. It's very small. It's got a really high quality shock mount designed specifically for this microphone. It's got a removable cable that plugs in directly into a camera. Not a smartphone, but a camera, and it comes with a furry windscreen that you can place right on there, and that way when you're outside vlogging or moving around, if there's wind, anything rustling, none of that's going to get through. And this is a really high quality wind muff, which is a huge amount of stuff that you get for 60 bucks, especially when the quality is so good. All right, let's talk about the Movo. What do you get with this? Well, it turns out you get a lot. First, you get a nice kind of fake leather bag. I think this can't be real leather. Fake leather pleather bag here. A little drawstring bag to keep everything in, which is nice. Here's the microphone itself. Let's do a size comparison. Okay, size comparison. It is almost exactly the same height as the VideoMicro, and it is basically the same width. It looks like the VideoMicro is a little bit thinner, but that's just because this section here in the VideoMicro is thinner, but if you look at the base, it's almost the exact same size. It comes with a removable cable to plug into the camera, although this cable has a right angle and a straight cable, and I do prefer the VideoMicro's cable that has 2 right angles, but you could always purchase one of these if you wanted to. It has a shock mount that is a decent build. It's clearly not as high quality of a shock mount as the one made for the VideoMicro, but it does have a shock mount. It comes with a second cable. This one is for plugging into your smartphone. For a lot of people, that's a really big thing. I never end up plugging microphones into my phone. I don't use my phone for doing video work, and when I do, I just whip it out of my pocket, hit record, film stuff, and then put it away. I don't bother with microphones if I'm gonna be that impromptu with my phone. But you know, let's say that your phone's all you use for videos. You don't have a camera, a dedicated camera. This is great that it comes with the one that's directly for your smartphone, and it comes with a furry wind muff that looks to be about the same quality as the VideoMicro. It's very nice, although it's shedding a lot. Now, there's one more big thing that the Movo gives you that is not really advertised well, and it's not a physical thing, so I'm gonna tell you about it. This microphone, the Movo, is about 6 decibels louder than the VideoMicro. This is a test of 2 different microphones for the purpose of audio on YouTube. Which one do you think sounds better? This is a test of 2 different microphones for the purpose of audio on YouTube. Which one do you think sounds better? Why does that matter? Well, in audio, 6 decibels as a rule of thumb is about twice as loud. So, while I'm working on this edit, it turns out I did a little bit of research, and that old rule of thumb that 6 decibels is twice as loud, that's actually been debunked in the 10 years since I was in audio school. The scientific community has discovered that we perceive twice as loud as a change in 10 decibels, not 6. So, the Movo is not twice as loud as the Rode VideoMicro, but it is significantly louder than the Rode, and that makes a difference because the built-in audio drivers and cameras are really bad. They have lots of extra noise, lots of extra hiss, and Canon is the worst offender of all of them. You hear it the worst when you leave your audio settings on auto, because it's constantly shoving the volume up and down to account for the changes in the environment. Great when you're running and gunning, but you will get all that extra noise in between sentences, in between words when you take pauses, because if I suddenly stop talking, the camera will go, oh, I don't hear anything, and it'll raise the input sensitivity up, and you'll hear all that extra camera noise, that hiss. You'll hear that come up, and then when you start talking, it'll go, oh, there's a loud sound, and it'll drop the input sensitivity back down to account for your voice. So it's in between words, in between sentences, that you'll hear that hiss come up, which is only when you have it on auto. But if you've got your camera audio settings on manual, and you set it so that the input volume is coming in somewhere between -9 and -12 dB, I've talked about this in a different video, I'll link it right here. That way you're not going to get that jump in volume up and down, and you're not going to hear that hiss coming in between words and in between sentences. So having a microphone that has an extra 6 decibels of volume, then I can drop the sensitivity in the camera for the microphone way down. And the lower the sensitivity is in the camera, the less of that hiss and noise from the poor audio driver in this camera is going to come through the recording. And for that alone, I'm going to start using this over the VideoMicro. And over the next few weeks, those of you who follow the channel, if you don't already, hit subscribe. I'm a magician and a motivational speaker. I travel all over the world sharing my magic and my message. We have a lot of fun on this channel, and we're getting a lot of subscriber growth recently. I'm trying to build a community. Say hello in the comments. I chat with people. I respond to almost every comment as often as I can. Feel free to join up. You'll see over the next few weeks in my vlogs that I'm going to start using this, so you'll get to really hear how it sounds as part of a run and gun vlogging setup in different situations. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks so much. My name is Brian Miller, and always remember that our world is a shared experience. Have a great day. This is a $60 microphone. The Sennheisers of the Rode VideoMicro cost $60. The Rode VideoMicro costs $60. Costs? Why do I keep saying costs? The Rode VideoMicro damn it!